Where does that put Janelle if he has his true life partner, like you said?
It's very unfair for me to feel the way I feel about Cody and plural marriage. It's very unfair to Mary and Janelle that I feel like he doesn't have the capacity for plural marriage. And I've even told Janelle, I'm like, I'm sorry that I feel this way, but I do. I just don't feel like he has that capacity anymore. And if you can't be exactly like Robin is, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Okay, a few months ago, there was a story that was circulating by The Sun, and The Sun had put out these details about Christine Brown's fiance's late wife. We didn't really go into the nitty-gritty of it simply because I didn't really know what to say about it. The Sun put out a story. They interviewed her sister. The sister didn't have the most positive things to say about David, although she didn't really say anything negative. She just sort of left him out of the conversation. And David never said anything about it. His daughter was really upset about the way that it was portrayed in the media, because the way that it was portrayed was that she had left a note which blamed David for being kind of a jerk. And everyone knows that when people are at the end of their lives and very not feeling good mentally, they can say a lot of things, and sometimes the things they say aren't true. So David hasn't really said a lot, but that article by The Sun about his late wife's untimely passing really made some fans very cautious. David finally introduced himself and his family on Instagram a couple days ago. He addressed the situation with his late wife, Margaret, and explained a little bit more about who he is. And fans will get to know David likely on the new season of Sister Wives, although a premiere date has not been announced for season 18, although we do know it is filming and it's expected to air, we're thinking, in September. So let's dive into this topic. Before we do, can you please do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, please subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button down below. Click on the bell so you get notified of any time I go live or new content loads. And if you have a comment, please make sure to leave one, say something, and obviously share this video with your friends. Okay, so David Woolley is the new man in Christine's life. This has been a fast and furious relationship, and honestly, we don't really know how long they've been together. Cody was all paranoid about Christine finding a man that was a con artist that was going to take all his money, and was like really worried about Christine going to court with her new husband to take his money. And some fans are wondering, like, were they together all the way back then? I don't know. When she announced the arrangement or the relationship, it was this February 14th. It was Valentine's Day. Their Facebook says that they started dating in December, although some sources are saying they were together longer than that, although photographs of him with his family in November don't show her anywhere around. So it really could be this fast, and who knows? Anyways, he hasn't really shared a whole lot. So everyone was trying to fill in the blanks about who is this guy and why is it moving at warp speed and why are they getting together so quickly and is this the real deal? And everyone's looking for, is Christine really going to be smart to jump into this new relationship because she just came out of a cult and she was in polygamy and she doesn't know how to date, and all those questions. Naturally, fans were protective of her because they felt like they really were just watching her get her freedom and then jumping into a new relationship. Other people were like, yes, girl, go, do it, do it. So here's what David said on Instagram. Hello, I am sorry I've not let people know who I am yet. I have 8 kids, 6 are married and 2 are single. I have 10 grandchildren, and I also have kids and grandkids in California that are my extended family, but I consider my own. Half of my kids do not want to be in the spotlight, so I'm respecting their wishes, and you won't see their faces on here. I was married to their mother for 20 years when depression got a hold of her. I've been a single dad for 11 years. Yes, I have dated since then, but it never went anywhere. He said, I have been doing, as far as like what he does for work, he says, I have been doing drywall since 1980 and own my own company for the past 20 years. I wish I could show you all my family because I'm very proud of all of my kids. So this is a little bit about me and I'm glad to be here. He then said, I'm really excited to be with Christine. The future is really bright and he cannot wait to get married. Okay, so he has 8 kids, he's got 10 grandkids, and he says, I was with my wife for 20 years until depression got a hold of her. I've been doing drywall for 20 years. I own my own business, and I'm super happy and excited to marry Christine. So what is the story about his wife, ex-wife, or his late wife? I'm sorry. So his late wife, Margaret, was apparently, they were married. They had all these children together, and his daughter on TikTok has said that she became addicted. I don't know if it was to pills or to alcohol. She was dealing with mental health issues, and she kind of kept these things a secret from people. The marriage between the two of them was sort of tumultuous because of that addiction and sort of the issues with the mental health. But it was a letter. So that's what the daughter says. And the daughter has spent a lot of time basically speaking about her mom and letting people like understand, you know, the awareness of mental health and taking care of yourself and, you know, being there for family members. And her opinion was that my mom was really depressed and she and my dad had a good marriage, but she said things at the end that were not true and not indicative at all of their relationship. But the son says something else. So they get a hold of the police report. So they get a hold of his police report and they figure out that Margaret actually took her own life and she had left him a devastating note. And basically there was the police report detailed what the note said, and they did what was called a Freedom of Information Act. And so this is what the son says. According to the police report from Utah's Lehigh City Police, she was found in a hotel room unconscious and not breathing. David's late wife had checked into a hotel room a day prior, and then housekeepers knocked on her door after checkout time on June 20th, and they immediately saw the female was not breathing. They were called to the scene per the investigation and found bottles of pills and noted that she had also consumed beer. It was learned that her behavior a day before was pretty erratic, and they had been notified the day before that there was a woman that was threatening to take her own life. She left her home at 8 a.m. and around 2 p.m. she sent her best friend who lives in California a text message and then stopped talking to her, basically saying that she was going to end her life. And then they also noted that David received a text from his late wife prior to her death as well. And he had apparently been trying to call her all night long and attempted to locate her, but he couldn't find her and he couldn't have any luck finding or figuring out where she was. The exact circumstance of actually what led to the situation isn't known, but according to the note that was left in the police report, she alleged that no one had helped her after she had shown signs of abuse and acclaimed loved ones turned their backs on her. She said, I was just a misunderstood, misguided lost soul who wasn't strong enough to stand alone against all the evil souls who broke me. She apologized to her children, leaving them with heartfelt last words, and then threw her note halfway down. The mother of 8 slammed David for the person he was over a decade ago. She said, you took everything and anything good in me and broke it with your controlling, manipulative ways. Please be a better father than you could ever be a husband. David was apparently offered a copy of the note by the cops, but he refused to read it. And at the time, a source told the U.S. Sun that they weren't ashamed of anything. It was just a note. That's all it is. And when people are depressed, they can say a lot of things. And when someone's on their deathbed, they're going to say a lot of things. So that was what the source told the Sun at the time. So when the news broke, people were like immediately, oh my gosh, the ex-wife has accused him of all of these terrible things. He was manipulative, he was controlling. His daughter said that it wasn't like that. It was more like she was in an addiction, and when you're in the throes of addiction and mental health issues, any sort of help can make you feel like someone's trying to control you. She did not say that her dad was, she didn't have any examples of her dad being a terrible husband to her mom, and really just reiterated that it was her mom's mental illness that was the issue at bay. Her sister told The Sun this: she loved her kids more than anything. Really, the only thing I have to say is mental illness is a real problem in this country, and that it's super important that people get help. We all love my sister, and she loved her kids very much. She passes away. The Sun puts that out. The daughter responds. David hasn't said anything until now, and basically just said, you know, depression got a hold of her, and I was alone for 11 years. Now I've found Christine. I'm really happy, and I'm excited to get married. He does not have to address what happened in the past, and we'll never know for sure what happened in their relationship. You know, when I was watching what his daughter said, she made a lot of sense to me. You know, when you are dealing with mental illness and you are dealing with addiction, any person trying to help you can feel controlling and manipulative, especially if they're trying to get you into rehab or take care of you. And the way that his daughter described it was they just had no clue about addiction. They had never dealt with it. They were, I think they grew up Mormon, and they weren't drinkers. And, you know, when she gets in with the pills and the alcohol, it's like she becomes a different person. Now, if she's dealing with mental health and she's not taking care of it, I don't know. You know, it's really sad. And at the end of the day, like, all we can go off of is today. And people can have a lot of really bad relationships, and not every marriage works out. And there could have been problems in their marriages. Right now, David is showing us not anything bad. He's showing to be well enmeshed in Christine's life, taking good care of her, the kids all seem to really like him, truly seems to like him. They seem to be bonding. They've purchased a house together. She's excited to start her life with him. She's planning a wedding with him. They haven't gotten married yet. She did clarify that on her Instagram recently, that she is not married yet. So this is who David is. And to me, he looks way different than Cody. He seems far more engaged with his children. Cody doesn't care about half of his grandkids, and he ignores most of his kids. And with David, it seems like he has good relationships with his children. His daughter was talking about how, you know, when she didn't feel good, he would like drive down to go see her, and he's like gone out of his way to be there for her. And he's like, she praised him as a father and said that he, after his mom passed away, had to carry the load and did everything he could for his kids and poured his life into them. So, you know, this is like, for them, perhaps they're both smitten because they've both, you know, gone through such heartache themselves, and they probably can relate to each other. So, you know, it's good for David to address it, and it sounds like he's got a great life, and Christine seems really happy, and hopefully everything will continue to go well for them. They have a beautiful new home. And more than anything, the smile on her face and the happiness in her photos and just the lightness that she shines through, to me, just shows that she is a better, happier, more engaged, more alive human than she's been ever. And to that I say, that's all you would want from someone that's come out of a situation like Christine. And maybe they can relate to both having to deal with difficulties in their past. You never know what brings people together. And so hopefully this will be a marriage that works forever. So what are your thoughts about his post and how he addressed the situation? And what do you think about all of this? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.